So let's start. I'm gonna talk about building a chatbot. So I want to start with the questions. A question: if you know what all of these objects have in common, any idea for what is in common for computers, toilets, watches? Maybe I'm gonna open the chat.
You can unmute yourself and say if you have any idea.
Or if not, it's also okay to say you don't have any idea. So I think that all of these objects have in common the fact that we use them. They're very complicated and they have lots of details in terms of mechanics and engineering, but we use them. So in this talk, I want to maybe think together if also machine learning models are like this objects that we can use without really. This is a good example. I'm going to use this la mitad to go to bed later on. So I think maybe machine learning tools are also like this everyday item that we use, but I want you to say what do you think at the end of mine and also Gal's talk. My name is Miriam, and I am a data scientist and a neuroscience researcher. I work in INRI. It's an Israeli startup that connects these two passions of neuroscience and artificial intelligence. And I'm a PhD candidate. And also, I'm a co-founder of the neurotech community here. So it's something that I'm really proud about, national community for neurotechnology. And let's start. So in this talk, we're going to talk a bit about a background, a bit about machine learning and large language models. We'll talk about GPT and ChatGPT that most of us use and maybe love, maybe are afraid of. We have some emotional relations. About nonviolent or compassionate communication, which is the world where I did my ChatGPT chatbot. And then we'll talk a bit about techniques to actually customize the ChatGPT, prompt engineering and context learning, and also RAG, retrieval augmented generation. So a bit about this role. So probably some of you already know, but if not, I only want to make the terminology clear. So AI is artificial intelligence, and it refers to the idea of machines gaining intelligence, and they can maybe act intelligent also without learning, only by some developers putting the rules. But ML, machine learning, is a subset of AI where machine learn from the data. So it's not about the developers who put the rules, the machine learn by itself. NLP, natural language processing, are AI applications that are about processing natural language, which is not computer language, or if you maybe have a language of your choice, like Python, C#, so not more like Hebrew or English. And some of NLP application are AI, but are not ML. So I think this is an example that if some of you are not sure about the distinction, like old chatbots, when I talk in a WhatsApp chatbot with the bank or some company, so sometimes it's very annoying because you need to press 2 or press 3, and it doesn't really understand you, it doesn't learn from the conversation. So this is like an old NLP that is AI but not ML. And LLMs, which is large language models, are type of ML that is focused on language. So I want you to try to answer in the chat, or if you want also to talk, it's okay. What is so large about large language models? If you have any idea. When we say LLMs, what is the largeness? Where is it coming from?
The data.
The data, of course. Thank you. So large language models have lots of data. We talk about terabytes of data. And also, thanks to the data, we can have very complicated models. The complication of a model is sometimes is referred as the number of parameters. So here we have billions of parameters that we can adjust and make the model very accurate. And because of that largeness of the models, they can handle lots of text tasks like sentiment analysis, which is to understand the sentiment of the conversation, or answering question like we all did a few weeks ago or today, and also summarizing information, lots of other tasks. And this is an example of how is the model smart in comparison to a human. So a 13 years old human, a teenager, maybe will hear up to 100 million words. This is a lot. I think most people do not have this knowledge. And LLM models have much more. That we're talking about trillion of different words. So if we go back to this Venn diagram, on the left side, we have Gen AI, which is generative AI. And it's the idea of machine learning that don't only learn from the data, but can also make something new, generate new content, like words or like sound that you will see in Gal's speech. And GPT is generative pre-trained transformer, is type of LLM and Gen AI. So the G in GPT is from the Gen AI, the generative. And pre-trained is because it's a large language model, it was pre-trained before. And the transformer, we're now going to talk a bit about what is a transformer. So it's a very cool concept that was developed for the task of translating for Google Translate. And the idea is that if you want to translate some sentence like this one in Hebrew, אני חושב משמע אני קיים. So you need to also first translate word by word, but also you need to understand the sentence as a whole. So the idea of the transformer is to start by tokenizing, by separating the different words, and then also adding position, because the position of a word in a sentence is very important for understanding. But then the cool idea is the attention. And when we say attention, we mean what is the importance of one word to another one. So maybe the first word is important to the third word, but is not important to the second. So this relationships between words is a very cool concept of transformers. And then after we understand these relations, and it's a bit more complicated, so we can get the translation, which is, I think, therefore I am. And this is the real transformer that was presented in the paper by Google Translate in 2017. And if you see this journey, so when we start with the transformers, less than 10 years ago, the first GPT had about 100 million parameters, and now today, or this is 1 year ago, we had billions of parameters. So the transformer had the ability to really make the LLMs world huge and much more intelligent, and like change our lives, I think. So moving to GPT, I actually remember when GPT was introduced in November 2022. I was one of the 100 million users who joined. I joined a few days after it was introduced, but we're talking about a very, very fast user adaptation. So many users are using ChatGPT. And I think it's because it's so easy to use, right? You can talk with it, and maybe it doesn't always answer the right answer, and sometimes it has hallucinations or stuff. But if you learn how to do the prompting, so you'll get a very good answer, and it really helps when you need to do stuff like writing emails, or when you only need to rephrase it. So, and also it's fun. to talk with a machine. I think it's like a hobby for many people. So of course, machines, maybe not ChatGPT, but other machines are very smart and can do lots of complicated tasks. But I want you to think if ChatGPT is more empathetic than human. You can answer. I want you to ignore, for the sake of this conversation, the stories that we now hear about Gemini. We're not talking about Gemini. But actually, we can maybe have a discussion about it because I have some idea about why it was so not friendly. So about this, do you think that ChatGPT is more or less empathetic than human? You can write or answer. You can say what was your experience with ChatGPT. If it was happy to help and like, yay, or if it was no, please, human, go away. Less. Daphne says less. Hila says more. Okay. More patience. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, and also maybe ChatGPT is not empathic because, right, it's not a human. It doesn't have emotions as far as we understand. But it was trained to please the people that were interacting with it. So in this study that is about to be published probably, people were asked to rate the empathy that they see in a conversation. And they didn't know, of course, if the conversation was a human with another human or a human with ChatGPT. And they were asked to rate the conversation according to what they think they would answer if they had a really empathetic day. And as you can see, the green bars are ChatGPT, and it was much more empathetic. And you can talk a lot about why is it, because when we maybe think about applications in medicine, so you know that doctors meet many of patients, and ChatGPT is never tired and is never frustrated, and it doesn't care. It could talk with another patient and another patient and hear the same story over and over again. And humans are sometimes very exhausted. And I actually I heard a story from a doctor, not that she told me that in a clinic where she worked, they had they tried to have a chatbot that talked with the patient, and one patient really liked the chatbot, and when he came to the clinic, he didn't want to meet other doctors. He really asked only to see that chatbot because it was nice to him, and it never rolled his eyes, and it only continued to answer. So this is about the empathy. And a year after ChatGPT stormed into our lives, or into my life, OpenAI also introduced GPTs, which is a way to customize ChatGPT, and it's without coding. In the introduction they had in their website, they really wrote, you don't need to know coding. So, and then if you go to OpenAI's website, you can see all of these different companies, big companies, small startups that are using ChatGPT or GPT in their business. And I saw this and I thought, well, that's really cool. All of this, they don't try to make a new LLM because it's, as we say, we need large amounts of data and large amount of parameters. And it's maybe more easy to just take a LLM that is ready and only maybe customize it a bit. So I thought, why not try? And yeah, this is the conclusion. And I thought it would be cool to try it in a world that is called nonviolent or compassionate communication. So the idea of NVC, I'm going to say from now on, is that in our relationships and in life and in work and family, whatever, every interaction between humans, we have lots of problems. We have lots of misunderstanding, miscommunications. Sometimes when we have a conflict, so instead of trying to be calm and try to reconnect with the other, we're only able to escalate the conflict and make it bigger and bigger, and everyone like throws fire, and it becomes hard, even if inside we really want to try to be okay. So it's really complicated for most of us. We sometimes we are defensive and we are reactive, and we can't really stop and breathe in and try to answer something that will bring some peace. And lots of problems in relationships that ultimately are ending with disconnection. So the idea of nonviolent communication is to communicate in a way that fosters communication, reduces defensiveness, and helps to resolve disagreement respectfully. So I thought, well, we see some research about ChatGPT being very nice. And in my conversation with ChatGPT, I really felt like it's listening and doesn't never upset about me. So why not try to also make a ChatGPT that is NVC GPT, that knows what is nonviolent communication. And I'm just gonna tell like in a really shortly what is the idea. So when we have a conflict, like in the beginning of a talk, we have some parent with a child that doesn't want to go to sleep. So, and then maybe people can be angry and starting to yell, go to sleep, go now to the bed. So we can stop and start with an observation, right? To start to understand what really did happen. If we say the child that doesn't want to go to sleep, so maybe it's not true, right? Maybe the child wants to go to sleep, but has something he really wants to do before, or maybe didn't find something that he needs before he goes to bed. So the observation in this case could be the child doesn't go to sleep, right? Without the want or whatever. And then we can go to our feelings. So what do we feel? What do I feel when my child doesn't want to go to sleep? Maybe I feel upset. Maybe I feel angry. Maybe I'm just so tired, and I don't really care about the child. I'm just tired. And then we can go to our needs. So according to the feelings, right? What do I need? Do I need maybe to take a short nap, 20 minutes nap, and the world will try to be okay in the meantime? Or maybe I'm so angry, so I need to go and maybe go to a run, or maybe I'm hungry and I just need food. I just need food, and a few minutes of food will really help me. And the last step of NVC is request. After I understand really what happened and what are my feelings and my needs, I can also try, if I have a connection with the other, to have a simple small request and ask for something. So this is my view, of course, of nonviolent communication. So now what do we actually do? We go to ChatGPT's website, and there is a create button on the top right corner, and we just press, and now we need it needs a paid account. But if we have a paid account, we only need to press create. And then you'll see this screen when you can start interacting with GPT and make customization through through talking. If you want a bit more control, you can click on the configure button and also have some more fine tuning. So this stage is prompt engineering, actually. So sometimes we talk about 3 types of prompt engineering of prompts. The first one is a direct prompt. When I say, for example, encourage users to explore their emotions and express their needs, respond with short answers. And this is really important with ChatGPT. because as people already wrote in the chat, ChatGPT specifically really wants to please the user, and sometimes it has for me, it's like a misconception that people like to read really long answers. So if you want it to be different, only have a direct prompt. How do you want the GPT to act? Second type of prompt is a role-based prompt. When you ask the LLM to respond in a specific role. So it's not direct, you don't tell it what to do, but you can tell it, for example, answer as a nonviolent communication coach. And I saw this really cool example of a woman. She asked ChatGPT to be her skincare advisor. So this is, of course, a role-based prompt. And she created with ChatGPT a custom skincare routine. Her prompt was, hi, ChatGPT, you are to act like a professional and extremely skilled and experienced, blah, blah, blah. And then she continues and asks it to help her to have a beautiful skin. And she posted it, and the results that she posted a few months later was, I don't know, like a better skin. So this is cool. It was 2 months later. And a third type of prompt is a contextual prompt. So you need to provide additional context. And then it helps the model to understand a bit more about what you need. So it could be like if a user expresses blah, 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 try to respond first by acknowledging their emotions, as we human sometimes do, and then try to go on with how to help the user. So this is the 3 types of prompt. And the prompts are the primary way we customize GPT, and we can set it within the instructions or the chat that you saw. And prompt engineering is now actually a title, right? People have courses of prompt engineering, maybe also a BA, I'm not sure. So of course it's complex, but a few very simple techniques that we can all maybe learn some. So first, we should be as clear and specific as possible. And like, for example, one of my first uses with ChatGPT was I asked it to make a table for a visit I had in Europe. So I really asked what to have in each column. So one column of where to visit, and then how much time would it take, and then how much to the next station, how much like minutes I need to walk. So you can really explicitly ask for a specific answer. Also, it's essential to experiment and refine and change your prompts until you get whatever you want. And if you want the model to know about you and your world, so you should add some context. And if you have a bit more complex query, so you can ask the model to go step by step. And this is the idea that is called chain of thoughts. So it's when you have like a chain of thoughts. So sometimes models are really struggling with answering questions because they try to predict the final answer. But also in the new models that are today, and if we don't have the new model, we can only ask the model to have the chain of thoughts reasoning, which is think about it step by step. So first start with the first step, and then we continue to the second one, and so on. Okay, so after the initial prompts, I refined the model, and the idea of in-context learning is the approach that the model learns throughout the conversation. So for example, if some user is going to the model and saying, help, how can I break this cycle? We keep having the same argument. So the model can answer, sound exhausting? Are you feeling frustrated, hoping for understanding and change? And then the user can answer, yeah, I'm so tired of this. I feel like we're getting nowhere. So the model now has lots of context, and it learns, it understands more about the situation, and can answer something that is more relevant to the user. So in this example, the model answered, I hear your fatigue. What are you needing in this moment? Maybe understanding, peace, and it continues. So someone is asking about step by step. So the idea is that also us human, when we get like I don't know, like a complicated riddle, two people went to the store, one bought this, one bought that, how blah blah blah. We need to stop and maybe to think about it as a series of simple tasks. So first, like to have steps in our thoughts. I'm not sure if it's but if not, we'll talk about it at the end. But the idea is to take the big question and to split it into simple steps, and then go step by step and answer like that. And the O1 model, which is the new ChatGPT that was introduced, I think, already a few months ago, is doing that. And it's doing that by training that in the training, people also give a reward to the model. Not only by the final answer, but also by the steps. So if a step was going towards the right answer, it got a reward. In context learning, I think in ChatGPT is defined through the conversation starters. So here my starters in my ChatGPT was, as you saw before, the help one, which is in the end, but also, can I get some empathy, please? Or I want an abstract drawing of, that expresses my feeling, or whatever. So I had this, and I was so excited to try the GPT, but I felt that it doesn't truly understand what is NVC. I didn't feel comfortable. It wasn't fun for me. And then I thought, well, I have a role-based prompt, right? I'm asking the model to act like an NVC trainer. But what if it doesn't really know what is NVC? There's so much information online, terabytes of data. Maybe it got lost. So here is where we use RAG. And RAG is the concept of the model getting also some knowledge, and it can use it. So it works like that. First, we have a user that has some query, and it asks some retriever to answer its query. And then the retriever goes and search in some knowledge source. And inside that knowledge source, it finds some information that is relevant and is enhancing the context. This is where the augmenting comes from. So it makes the query more augmented. And then the retriever can send the query that the user asked, and also some enhanced context to LLM, a large language model. And then the LLM can have a response. So this is the idea of RAG. And it's really complicated, of course, to implement it by code, even though now you can do it with 2 rows in Python. But in ChatGPT, it's even easier. You only need to upload files, and this is the knowledge source, or you can ask the model to do a web search, which is also maybe kind of RAG. And then GPT has the specific information it needs to make its response better. Then after I saw everything is okay, I published the GPT and shared it with friends. I also have friends in the NVC community here, and I got lots of reviews. And this is one review of a woman that really touched me. She wrote that she was surprised by even that she knew it was a bot. The conversation helped her, and she had the sense of calm. And then she also says, it also helped me approach the other person with a desire to reconnect rather than just prove I'm right. So I really felt like I did something good. And now we have time to try it. Yeah, okay. So please be creative, people here, I'm asking. You can, if you have a real conflict that you want us to try, you can write it. Or if you only want to make something up, write in a chat something that I will ask ChatGPT to answer. I already asked it to answer in English because it's a Hebrew one. So we're gonna do some English NVC. Of course, I'm not sure what it's gonna answer because we're doing it now. So now we're waiting if someone here is creative and wants to try something real or something that is only imagination. I'm gonna make it maybe a bit bigger. No, maybe it's too much.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Do you have any conflict? Not something you can make it up even.
Yeah, maybe your neighbors have some conflict and you want to talk about it. So feel free to write anything about anything. You can, of course, write it in any language that you want. The model understands, I think most of the, maybe all of them. Okay, how can we move to another role without making it feel as, oh, that's a good one. Thank you so much. So you all see, how can we move a team member to another role without making her feel less valuable? Let's see. Oh, so now it's that just answers, what can you try? I'm actually not happy with it because it's doing like it's training us. Maybe if in the prompt, I'm gonna change a bit the prompt. I wanna say, how can I move and what to start with, because I wanted to be sure. I hope it will now be, okay, so now it answers something that is more easy. So it says start with acknowledgement and appreciation. Recognize the team members' contribution. Actually, I think that's a good advice. And because we're worried about the value, so talk about the value. I want to start by blah blah. Maybe it's trivial. Do you think it's trivial? Did you already think about this? So it says that will set a positive tone. Okay,
You can read it. I don't know if everybody managed to read it. I think it's a good advice.
Yeah, so it also gives an example. I want to start by saying how much I appreciate the work you've been doing. Your dedication and specific skills or accomplishments have made a big difference to the team. And then you can continue. So let's say, just for the sake of the talk, but then she will think it's fake if so important. Why do they move me? Right? I think this is you're absolutely right. It's the pleasing list of ChatGPT. Addressing So then it continues with giving examples of what really to say. So I know it might seem contradictory, valuing your work so much and then discussing a shift. Let me share the bigger picture. So the bigger picture is also something that would help. The change isn't about you being less valuable. It's about how your unique strength can help us meet new challenges or goals in a different way. Your skills are exactly what we need for this role. I think it's a good one. So thank you so much, Randy, for giving this example. And I want to conclude by saying that maybe in this point, you are convinced that machine learning tools are some of the everyday tools that we can use and we can customize. even though we don't really have the engineering or mathematics or whatever it is behind it. So well, I wanted you to think about how AI are accessible to everyone, and we don't really need a code to explore some of the theories. And also, I think I think that human-machine interactions are changing, and every day comes with a new way to connect with machines or with other humans. And I will end with this movie.
Are you able to feel empathy?
Absolutely. I'm programmed to show empathy.
You can show empathy, but can you really feel it?
Absolutely. I may be a robot, but I'm programmed with emotions too. Plus, I'm always learning new ways to express empathy and compassion.
That's it. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
also interacting and answering.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Orit is asking, is this configuration can be done only with the paid user? Yeah.
For now, yes. Yeah. But I will say that there are many AI tools that you can use for free. You could just Google AI free tools and find lots of ways to have fun.